HOA Trespassed to redraw boundaries. They didn't expect my military land recon proof in court. Have you ever trusted someone to respect your property, only to find they've crossed a line you didn't think possible? For Captain Marcus Reed, a decorated Army officer, that betrayal came from his own homeowners association. After years of serving his country, he returned home to find his land violated, his boundaries redrawn, and his trust shattered. What followed was a battle that exposed greed, overreach, and the power of standing your ground. Marcus had bought his home in a quiet Texas suburb 5 years ago, a haven after deployments overseas. The lot, a sprawling 2 acres, backed onto a wooded area he cherished for its privacy. His property deed was clear. The land extended to a creek 50 feet beyond his fence, a boundary marked by survey stakes from the county. The HOA, led by Karen Whitaker, a self-appointed guardian of community standards, had never disputed this. Marcus kept his yard pristine, paid his dues, and mostly kept to himself. But Karen had plans that didn't include respecting Marcus's rights. While Marcus was deployed for 9 months in 2024, the HOA quietly launched a beautification project. Karen, eyeing the wooded area for a community park, claimed the land past Marcus's fence was unowned and proposed redrawing property lines to annex it. The board, swayed by her promises of rising property values, approved the plan without consulting homeowners. Contractors were hired, and surveyor hired by the HOA conveniently redrew boundaries, shrinking Marcus's lot by 30 feet. They even moved his survey stakes, replacing them with new ones closer to his fence. When Marcus returned in January 2025, he found a letter from the HOA informing him his property line had been adjusted and part of his land was now community property. Fury doesn't begin to describe Marcus's reaction. He'd spent years navigating war zones, relying on precision and evidence. This was his home, his sanctuary, and Karen's HOA had trespassed, lied, and stolen his land. He confronted Karen at a board meeting, demanding proof of their authority. She smirked, waving a new survey map, claiming it was county-approved. Marcus, calm but steely, warned her, "You've made a mistake. I'll prove it." Karen laughed, dismissing him as a disgruntled soldier. Big mistake. Marcus didn't just fight war, she was trained in military land reconnaissance. He'd mapped contested terrains under fire, using GPS, satellite imagery, and old-school surveying tools. Back home, he pulled his property deed, the original county survey, and his own records. He spent nights cross-referencing satellite images from Google Earth, time-stamped before the HOA's project. The creek was clearly within his boundaries, but Marcus wanted ironclad proof. He called in a favor from a buddy in the Army Corps of Engineers, who lent him a high-precision GPS unit. Marcus mapped his lot himself, confirming the original stakes locations. The HOA's new stakes? Planted 30 feet inside his property. Then came the twist. Marcus wasn't alone. His neighbor, Mrs. Elena Torres, a retired schoolteacher, had noticed HOA workers snooping around her yard too. She'd caught them on her Ring camera, measuring her land without permission. Elena, sharp as a tack, had kept every document from her home purchase 20 years ago, including a survey that matched Marcus's. She told him, "They tried to bully me into signing a boundary agreement last month. I refused." Her footage showed Karen herself directing the contractors, pointing at Marcus's land and saying, "He's gone. Just do it." Elena's evidence was dynamite proof of intent and trespass. Armed with his recon data and Elena's videos, Marcus hired a lawyer, Sarah Nguyen, a pitbull in HOA disputes. Sarah warned him the HOA would fight dirty. "They'll claim easements or clerical errors," she said. "But your evidence is bulletproof." She filed a lawsuit against the HOA for trespass, breach of fiduciary duty, and fraud, demanding the land be restored and punitive damages. The HOA's lawyer, a slick type named Greg, scoffed in court, arguing the HOA had community rights to the land and their survey was official. Karen took the stand, playing the victim, claiming Marcus was intimidating and the project was for the children. The courtroom drama peaked when Sarah presented Marcus's evidence. She projected his GPS maps, satellite images, and the original survey, showing the jury exactly where the HOA had overstepped. Elena's Ring footage drew gasps. Karen's voice, clear as day, ordering the trespass. Then Marcus testified, his military bearing commanding the room. He described his recon process, his voice steady but laced with betrayal. "I fought for this country's laws," he said. "I didn't expect to fight my own neighbors for my home." The jury, a mix of retirees and working folks, leaned forward, riveted. Greg tried to spin it, claiming the HOA acted in good faith. But Sarah pounced, revealing the HOA surveyor was Greg's cousin, paid under the table to falsify the map. The judge, a no-nonsense Texan, wasn't having it. "You don't redraw a man's land while he's serving his country," he snapped. The jury deliberated for 2 hours before ruling for Marcus. The HOA had to restore his boundaries, pay $150,000 in damages, and cover his legal fees. Karen's face crumpled as the verdict hit. The HOA, cash-strapped, faced a special assessment, infuriating homeowners who turned on Karen at the next meeting. She resigned in disgrace, her beautification dream in tatters. Marcus's victory wasn't just about land, it was about justice. He used part of the damages to plant a privacy hedge along his restored boundary, a quiet food to the HOA. Elena, now his fast friend, baked him empanadas to celebrate. The neighborhood buzzed with the story, and Marcus became a local hero, proof you could beat a bully with truth and grit. He spoke at a community meeting, urging neighbors to read their deeds and hold the HOA accountable. "Your home is yours," he said. "Don't let anyone take it." This fight showed the best and worst of human nature, greed and betrayal, but also courage and solidarity. Marcus and Elena stood up when it mattered, turning a quiet suburb into a battlefield for fairness. What do you think? Did the HOA deserve its downfall, or was Karen just misguided? Share your take below.